13 now.
What's the Naked Lady Gang?
I don't really remember what we did. I just remember that that's what it was called, and that we would all be naked and the girls and boys would stand in lines and they'd take pictures of us while we were on stage. And I remember tunnels. They were kind of like a subway tunnel, but it was a long, like a circular tunnel, and there were lamps, like the oil lamps, every so often, and it was a dark tunnel, and there were pictures of the devil on the wall.
And the tunnel went right on across, all the way over to this wall.
The kids talked about passageways under the school and rooms under the school.
Jackie McGauley says her daughter was also abused at McMartin and also mentioned tunnels.
The tunnel went in like this.
10 years later, she and a private investigator are still digging for proof.
We were probing all over the school trying to find some evidence of tunnels, and it was like finding a needle in a haystack, really.
In 1985, the district attorney looked for tunnels at the site but found no sign of them.
And why do you think that you were able to find something that the prosecutors couldn't find?
And the tunnels were actually under the school building. The prosecutors came in about 2 or 3 days and lifted tile, and they didn't see any indication that there was any break in the floor, and that's all they did.
This was the wall, the west wall.
After the acquittals, Ted Gunderson helped Jackie McGauley
The backhoe went straight down about
lead an excavation at the McMartin site. They say the dig revealed that tunnels once existed under the school.
It was about almost a 50-foot tunnel.
When you found these tunnels, they weren't actual tunnels. They weren't intact at the time.
They'd been filled.
How were they filled?
We never could figure out how they were filled, but I know it was done very professionally. There's artificial fill here. It's foreign to the other soil that's in the native soil that's in this area.
And what do you think that tunnel was used for?
Well, the children said that they were taken down into the tunnel and brought up into this triplex next door, and then they were placed in cars and taken out into the communities and prostituted.
Does that seem possible to you?
I would say it's possible. We found the tunnels.
At the McGauley home, more reminders of the McMartin nightmare.
Where did these come from?
The play yard.
These were toys that were actually in the play yard? Mm-hmm. Is that hard, though, for your daughter to see parts of that school in her own backyard?
Well, she lived on the school pretty much for a month while we were doing the project. So like I said before, I think we worked through all of that.
We had to sleep down there at night with the kids.
This is the sign from the school? Where is that now?
We've got it in storage.
What's the significance of holding on to all of this?
A lot of kids were called liars. A lot of kids don't feel that they can hold their heads up. They don't feel like they can talk about what happened and deal with their problems. There's a lot of problems associated with what happened at the school. I don't care about the trial. I don't care about the defendants. I do care about the kids.
What good does this do, though?
To hold on to the sign, what good does it do to hold on to the sign? It's just there. I'm not really holding on to it.
Just as there are families with strong feelings about the McMartin case, there are those with serious doubts.
There's no case. The case should never have gone to trial.
Newspaperman Cody covered the McMartin trial and says the real culprits in the case were the social workers that investigated the early McMartin complaints.
In my opinion, the therapist led the kids into making these false disclosures.
Do you think those kids were abused?
There is no evidence presented, to my mind, that the kids were abused.
I mean, I don't know how many times over the years I've thought, well, maybe they really did. Maybe they did brainwash our kids, and this is all just a bunch of baloney, and we'll just wake up from this bad dream. But the reality, I don't think that's the reality.
Is there any question in your mind it happened?
No, I know what happened.
Is it possible at all, when you look back now, that some of these memories you have are memories that the therapist told you about, that may not be your own memories?
For me, no, there's no doubt. People will try and convince you that, hey, this didn't happen to you, look at this, they told you that. It's simply not the truth. And it's, you know, the topic gets old. That's what happened and that's what I said. And you believe me or not, it's fine, but I'm going to still say it to this day.